As the sun breaches the horizon, a solitary bell echoes across a golden temple roof, and the entire nation seemingly pauses in reverence. Down on the pavement, locals offer silent bows to the portrait of their king, while a bustling morning market stirs to life with warm smiles. Twice daily at 8 and 6, life freezes mid-step as the national anthem washes over public squares and transit stations. And once a year, the streets erupt in the joyous, purifying waters of Suran, a citywide blessing passed from person to person. This is real life in Thailand, the land of smiles. But just wait for nightfall. The very same streets that murmured quiet prayers in the morning light will violently ignite in a blaze of neon. Suddenly, a country globally painted as a playground of sin bears no resemblance to the deeply sacred sanctuary of the morning. One nation, two vastly different worlds, and while most outsiders are convinced they know the real Thailand, they begin, both of them, on this single stretch of land. Starting with the map, Thailand sits at the center of mainland Southeast Asia, a gateway pressed against four neighbors at once: Myanmar, Laos, Cambodia, and Malaysia. It holds more than 1,400 islands and some 2,000 miles of coastline, and through its heart runs a valley so fertile it earned an old name, the Golden Rice Bowl of Asia. About 71.6 million people live here as of 2025, and in 2024, another 35.5 million arrived as visitors, spending close to 48 billion, chasing something they could not quite put a name to. Tourism alone is roughly a tenth of everything the country earns. The paradox they sit inside is the hard part. Here a temple roof covered in gold and a street lit by all-night neon can stand a single block apart, and neither one apologizes for the other. The sacred and the sinful share the same address. That is the country we are looking for. Not the headline, but the one place that can somehow hold both at the same time. And there is a fact underneath all of it that the world tends to forget. Of every nation in Southeast Asia, Thailand, once called Siam, is the only one that was never colonized by a European empire. While Britain took Burma to the west and France took Indochina to the east, Siam survived as the buffer state wedged between them. One king made sure of it: Chulalongkorn, Rama V, who reigned from 1868 to 1910. He modernized the army, the economy, the whole machinery of the state, and he gave up pieces of land, parts of Laos and Cambodia after the crisis with France in 1893, so that the heart of the country could stay free. Why does that matter now? Because a nation that no one else ever owned grows up believing deep in its bones that it belongs only to itself. That pride never left. Wherever you're watching from right now, take a second and tell us your city or country in the comments. A place like this looks, completely different depending on where you happen to be standing when you look at it. And the two worlds, we came here to find both begin with the people who live inside them. Thailand is the land of smiles, and a first-time visitor assumes that simply means the people are happy. But honestly, they are missing almost everything. The Thai smile is closer to a language than a mood. There is a smile that welcomes you, and a smile that hides embarrassment, a smile that apologizes, a smile that softens bad news, and a smile that means no while somehow sounding like yes. Locals, can read perhaps a dozen shades of it without thinking. Underneath sits an idea called krangjai, a deep reluctance to impose on another person, to ever make them lose face. So a smile here is not always happiness, sometimes it is armor. And this is where the country's reputation and its reality quietly part ways. The world arrives expecting beautiful women and finds something it did not come for: composure. The real force of a Thai woman tends to be structural, not decorative. She is often the one running the household, the market stall, the family business, and she does it with an independence rooted in a Buddhist sense of humility. The idea that no self is worth inflating. More than half of the country's university students are women. In survey after survey, respect and harmony rank higher than status and money. Thailand, does export beauty in its own way. It's actually one of the 10 largest cosmetics markets on Earth, and every year, hundreds of thousands of cosmetic procedures take place here. A striking share of those are for visitors who, fly in just for that reason. But hey, here's a word of caution, because the internet really loves to flatten this into a slogan. To call Thailand a land of the most beautiful women is to judge an entire nation by a highlight reel. It's kind of like the way the world once judged America by Hollywood. The grace is real, but the exaggeration is not. If you think this video deserves more attention, please go ahead and click the hype button below. Each hype only lasts a few seconds, but it actually helps the video reach more people. We're really grateful for that. And that confidence, that ease inside one's own skin, belongs to a society that's far more open than its golden temples might lead you to expect. On the 23rd of January, 2025, the Marriage Equality Act came into force, and Thailand became the first country in Southeast Asia and the second in all of Asia after Taiwan to recognize same-sex marriage. This wasn't some narrow, reluctant vote squeaked through in the dark. The lower house passed it 400-10. The Senate, 130-4. The king had signed it the previous August. In a region where such laws are rare, a nation of temples did it by a landslide. But the law only put ink on something the culture had already settled. By most estimates, close to a tenth of the population identifies as LGBTQ+, and daily life absorbs that with almost no drama. Schools and workplaces quietly make room for more than a dozen ways a person might present their gender. Ask why this particular Buddhist country grew so at ease with difference, and part of the answer sits inside the religion itself. Thera Buddhism teaches anatta, non-self. The idea that the identity you cling to is not a fixed permanent thing. When a culture believes the self is fluid to begin with, it has far less reason to police the shape it finally takes. None of this makes Thailand a paradise. It makes it something more interesting, a place that decided a very long time ago that other people's lives were mostly not its business. And that openness shows up most clearly not in the law books but in the ordinary rhythm of a single Thai day. The friendliness is not performed. That is the first thing that tends to catch people off guard. It starts with the Y palms, pressed together, a small bow. The greeting that doubles as thank you, sorry, and respect all at once. It runs on Krang Jai, that same instinct never to burden anyone, and it holds up under scrutiny. In the 2024 Expat Insider Survey, more than 8 in 10 foreign residents describe Thai people as friendly, one of the highest scores anywhere in the world. So, warmth here is not a tourist season costume, it's the operating system. You feel it in the texture of an ordinary day. Morning markets stacked with mangoes and mangosteen and dragon fruit. So fresh and so cheap they become an afterthought. Streets swept clean before the heat sets in. And, a massage on nearly every corner. An hour of someone working the knots out of your shoulders for about the price of a sandwich back home. Thailand treats the body gently, and it, treats a stranger much the same way. Beneath all of it runs the Buddhist notion that compassion is not a favor, but a default. It is part of why the country feels so safe. Why people so often describe the Thai as open and warm rather than guarded. You are not being handled here, you are being welcomed. And there is a single phrase, 3 soft syllables, that holds their entire philosophy of living. The phrase is Mai Pen Rai. It translates weakly as never mind, it's nothing, don't worry about it. But that translation, honestly, misses almost all of its weight. Mai Pen Rai is not a shrug. It is a way of holding the whole world a little more loosely. Its roots run down into Buddhist thinking about impermanence and about karma. The acceptance that some things are simply beyond your control and that gripping them only traps you inside your own frustration. It travels with 2 companions. The Thai treat almost as a trinity for the soul. Mai Pen Rai, the letting go. Suk, the search for joy in whatever you happen to be doing, and Sabai, a deep and unhurried ease. Northern Europe has its loam. Thailand has this, a quiet instruction to stop wrestling the parts of life you were never going to win. But calm does not mean anything goes. And this is exactly where visitors get caught. There are rules here, invisible until the moment you break one. At 8 o'clock in the morning and again at 6 o'clock at night, the national anthem plays across stations and parks, and the entire crowd freezes on the spot until it finishes. The head is considered the most sacred part of the body, so you never touch another person's, not even a child's. The feet are the lowest, so you never point them at anyone. And above all, never toward an image of the Buddha. Stepping out without proper underclothes is read as a lapse in manners, because modesty here is simply politeness made visible. And one rule catches thousands of tourists a year. Vapes and e-cigarettes have been flatly illegal since 2014. Illegal to bring in, to sell, to own, or to use, with no exception carved out for foreigners. The penalties begin around 30,000 baht and climb toward as much as 10 years in prison or deportation. In a single sweep in early 2025, police were logging close to 690 cases a week. A country this gentle still keeps a few very hard lines. And the root of nearly all of it lies in a religion that soaks into every single hour of the day. Buy something in Thailand, glance down at the receipt, and the year itself may, stop you. It might read 2568. That is not a misprint. Thailand runs on the Buddhist calendar, which counts from 543 years before the Western one. So the country is quietly, living in a different year than the rest of your passport. It is a small thing that says a large one here. Time itself is measured from the Buddha. The temples make that visible on every street. As of March 2025, the National Office of Buddhism counted 44,195 of them across the country, 311 of those royal. Somewhere near 9 in 10 in Thais are Buddhist. Almost all of the Thera school, but a Wat is not, only a place to pray. It is a school, a gathering place, a shelter, and for generations, a rite of passage. Many Thai men still ordain as monks for a short stretch, often before they marry, trading the phone and the noise for, a shaved head and a begging bowl, if only for a season. Why do it? Because the culture treats a spell of stillness not as time lost, but as time that actually finishes a person. Then there is the sheer beauty of the places. Wat Arun, the Temple of Dawn, rises over the river, covered in broken Chinese porcelain that, catches the light like a mosaic made of 1,000 teacups. The gold on the roofs is not there for show. It stands for wisdom and for merit earned across a whole life. Not that the picture is spotless. The sight of a young monk with a designer bag or a supercar, that starts real arguments here.